All right, here with Reaction, Utah Congressman Jason Chaffetz in studio. Good to see you, Congressman. How are you?
Appreciate it.
They keep claiming that we didn't negotiate with terrorists. All right, so there's a third party intermediary, and that's Qatar, but they negotiated with terrorists.
They negotiated with terrorists. They just need to come clean on it. That is the honest truth. They negotiated with terrorists. And if he had made the case that he was going to do that when he was debating John or Mitt Romney, he would not be the president of the United States. The country would have never put up with it.
So if this is the dream team of terrorists that is being released, and we know past releases that we've had that they've gone back into the field of battle, the question is, why is Jay Carney, why is the administration out there saying that they pose no threat to the United States at all?
Lindsey Graham is absolutely right. This is their starting five. This is not the Kiwanis Club guys that went awry. These are terrorists, hardcore terrorists responsible for the death of thousands of people. I've been to Guantanamo Bay twice. I've seen these people. I'm telling you, this is devastating to our government.
All right, let's look at the recidivism rate. We'll put it up on the Hannity big board here. At Gitmo, it's a full 16.9%. Yeah. Now, we're talking about even low-level people that we have released, but yet they're the worst of the worst, right?
This is their senior-most leadership. These are the people that they covet the most. There's a reason why we had them detained. You think of the men and women who sacrificed their lives on the battlefield to go get these people. We had them there in Guantanamo Bay. I don't know. It's just...
Right, we're going to get into the father's comments and whether or not this guy was a deserter, as some reports have suggested. But I guess the question here is, you know, will this result in more hostage-taking by our enemy? What message did we send, and why do you think this is a bad deal?
Hey, look, to bring an American home is a good thing, and right. God bless him. I hope he's okay. But is the United States better? Is it more safe? Is it more secure now that we did this? You've got to do this in the sober light of day to make these kinds of non-emotional decisions. But there's a reason why the president was supposed to consult with Congress on these types of things.
You believe the president broke the law?
Yes.
Jonathan Turley believes the president broke the law. We'll have a debate about that. Yeah. Why? What specifically was he supposed to do?
Well, look, there's a process. There's a constitution in place. You're not supposed to. We passed the law. The president signed it into law. The president now says, well, it was unconstitutional, which begs the question, why is the president signing a piece of legislation he thinks is unconstitutional?
Let's look a little bit at the family for just a second. A member of his platoon, when he went missing in 2009, said the following here: I was pissed off then. I'm even pissed off more. So with everything going on, as it relates to Bo Bergdahl deserting during a time of war, and his fellow Americans lost their lives searching for him. And then we've got a Taliban leader, Mullah Omar, their spiritual leader, saying, quote, we shall thank the Almighty for this great victory. The sacrifice of our mujahideen have resulted in the release of our senior leaders from the hand of the enemy.
We got one American back, but we gave up five of the senior-most leaders. Think about this. We have been for more than 10 years fighting in Afghanistan to dismantle this, and suddenly we put them now on home confinement with the opportunity to go home after that. Yeah.
1 year.
And by the way, when you saw those guys give them their hugs and then they're all happy, you didn't see them. They weren't having to go to the hospital and doing all these things. They were treated so nice.
They get 1.5 doctors for every prisoner, as we learned. And meanwhile, our own VA, there's, you know, one doctor for every 35 members of our military that was supposed to be taken care of, right? So, all right, let's go to this. The New York Post had a report this weekend in the Sunday paper, and that the days prior to his capture, that Bo himself, the sergeant, wrote an email to his parents. Here's what he says: I'm sorry for everything here. These people need help, yet what they get is the most conceited country in the world, if we can put it up there, the most conceited country in the world telling them that they're nothing and that they're stupid. And then he goes on, I'm ashamed to be an American, and the title of U.S. soldier is just the lie of fools. I'm sorry for everything. The horror that is America is disgusting. Should that influence our decision in negotiating?
We have a process, and you were supposed to consult with Congress. Congress was never consulted. That's what the president's saying. I hope those statements aren't true. I mean, we got American. I want to bring them home, too. But to give up to take the senior-most leadership, I think the country is less safe than it was before this trade.
Yeah, what's going to happen when we have Americans die as a result of this? Okay, we'll get into this more deeply about the sergeant himself, but also about his father. He did, in fact, mention Allah and thank Allah at this Rose Garden ceremony. And he also sent out a tweet that he's, quote, I'm still working to free all Gitmo prisoners. God will repay for the death of every Afghan child.
You know what? He's an American. I believe in his right to free speech. I may not agree with him, but he's from Idaho, and he wants to make those comments. You know, that's what we do in the United States. So what's different about the United States than everywhere else? But it does beg the question of why did we trade 5 for 1? Why did we give up 5 of the most senior leaders?
Let me talk about the president himself, because during the government shutdown, the president said he wouldn't negotiate during the shutdown. But yet, obviously, they're negotiating here. Let's look at the montage.
We're not going to negotiate under the threat of further harm to our economy and middle-class families. We're not going to negotiate under the threat of a prolonged shutdown until Republicans get 100% of what they want. So what I've said to them is this: making sure that the United States government pays its bills, that's non-negotiable. I will not negotiate over Congress's responsibility to pay the bills it has already racked up. I don't know how to be more clear about this. I will not negotiate over Congress's responsibility to pay the bills that have already been racked up. I will not negotiate over the full faith and credit of the United States.
So he won't negotiate with you guys, but he negotiated with the Taliban through a third-party intermediary.
I work for the people of Utah. I represent them in the United States Congress. Try to get a meeting with the president to talk about something of substance in this country, to get jobs in the economy going again, fixing health care. Can't do it. But this president will negotiate with the terrorists. That's
all right.
what's so...
So you've been following Benghazi. We've been lied to about Benghazi, and they did it consciously. They say they haven't negotiated here, and they wouldn't negotiate. I think that's a lie. Then, of course, the lie about health care, keeping your doctor, keeping your plan, and saving money. We're being lied to an awful lot.
Yeah, well, they give more than 2,000 AK-47s in Fast and Furious, and we can't seem to get the documents from the Department of Justice. I mean, you just keep going down the list, Sean. That list continues to grow and expand. And why not work with the Congress? Why not do what the law says you're supposed to do?
Well, why do I think if I broke the law, I'd be handcuffed, perp-walked, and mug-shotted and throw away the key?
Would he get past the debate with John McCain and Mitt Romney if he said he was going to negotiate with the Taliban, he was going to give the drug cartels 2,000 weapons, when Benghazi was happening, that none of the military would be on their way to Benghazi, if health care was going to, be a debacle? It's just...
All right. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you.